Hello and welcome. Today I'm sharing with you a live class, an hour-long live class that will be a sample of what you'll receive from me starting in January with my 17-week Yoga Wisdom Live online training. The training is going to cover several topics. It's going to cover bone density, fascia, stability and strength, mobility, and most importantly, help you to go deeper in your yoga studies. So it's not just about our physical body, though it is about the physical body. It's not just about alignment, but it's also about breath. It's about breath, it's about attitude, it's about building awareness so that you can really learn how to apply yoga to your needs and how to help navigate the changes life brings our way. So enjoy this class, and I hope to see you in the training. Thank you. Namaste. All right, so I had a really nice class planned for y'all this morning. And one of the things I want to do is I want to tune you in. I want to tune you into this image right here. So I've been practicing yoga for 42 years, and I continue to go deeper and deeper into the practice of yoga. And when I've just started, Deb, so welcome, you made it, just started. Sorry about the kerfluffle. What I continue to understand is how my spiritual body, how this is the vessel for my spiritual body and how that lands in my body. And so what I want you to look at here is I want you to think of above the crown of the head, this is your central channel that comes all the way through the heart, through the pelvis, all the way into the earth, all the way into the earth. So some of this work was inspired by Dr. Sue Morter from her book on the energy codes. And then this angle right here, this wedge, this funnel, goes just below your navel to your second chakra. And it's actually the basis of your third chakra, okay? And this is a representation of the third chakra. Your third chakra is huge. It's the biggest chakra in the body. It spreads the widest, okay? And this is your pelvis here, and of course your legs. And then this other funnel goes down into the earth below you. So it's really brilliant when you start feeling in your body how your spirit grounds into this vessel. It's a very powerful thing. So this V comes from above. Whoop, 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 whoop. And this is my other image for you. I have these two funnels. I have these two funnels stacked on top of each other, right? This is my other image for you. And this is the part of your being is a being of light before it gets anywhere near the crown of your head. And then that funnel goes all the way down, and it's going to end up in your navel. So that spirit aspect, that spiritual energy aspect of your being is going to connect in your navel. It's not going to connect in your head. It's not going to connect in your heart. It's going to connect in your navel. And then from your navel, you're going to go down past the navel into the earth. So this is, if this was the earth, that funnel is going to continue down and ground you into the earth. And I'm sure you've all had those moments where you say to yourself, I feel ungrounded. I feel like I'd like to be more grounded, right? Those moments when we're breathing up above our navel, we're breathing up here in the chest, and we're actually pulling our energy up away from the earth, as opposed to rooting it back down into the earth. So I want to just put that image in your mind today because I wanted to give you an experience. And I know that Mariposa has to leave on time. So this is a 90-minute class. This is an hour-and-a-half class. Does that work for everybody or not? If you need to leave early, just give me a high five. Let me know. You can leave early, but I'll try and keep it right close to that or just before 90 minutes. Okay, so I want you to think about that energy because that's how you're going to take your spiritual energy and ground it in your body and on the earth. So when we do something, we go, oh God, I just misjudged. I made a silly mistake. You know, I fell and broke my foot. Heaven forbid. That's happened to two of my students this past, not too long from now. And so we're going to start just by tuning into the breath. And I'll go over to the mat now and help you, but I want you to really focus on this point and how you breathe. And we're also going to take some energy into the central channel. So we'll do a little meditation at the beginning and a little meditation at the end of the class also. So please get yourself a good seat. I have a blanket and a bolster. And because of my 30 years of training in the Iyengar method, because of my training, I learned a lot about how to position the body so that the channels are open and there's a free flow of energy in them. A free flow of energy, yes? So from here now, sitting on your sits bones, lifting from the bottom of the belly up to your chest, broadening across your collarbones. And then be aware of your breath. Become aware of your breath. Line up the crown of your head with your pelvic floor. And then see, are you sitting evenly on both your sitting bones? And you're welcome to close your eyes at this moment. You don't need to keep your eyes open. And just find your central channel from the crown of your head all the way down through your body to start tuning in. And this energy, spiritual body that I'm talking about is your subtle body. It's not the gross body. It's your subtle body. And what my subtle body has taught me over the past couple years, what my subtle body has taught me is that it's like an underground river. It's like a hidden, secret river that runs through the central channel all the way through the spine into the pelvic floor. So see if you can kind of tune in to that. And notice your breath. And notice if when you relax and inhale, that your breath falls into the space just below your navel. And if it's not going down that far, I'm going to invite you to do a little exercise, which is to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth as if you were exhaling through a straw. So just inhale for maybe a 4 count. And exhale. So slightly pursed lips as if you're exhaling through a straw, blowing out, and feel how the lower belly contracts. So breathe in, relaxing the breath into the belly, and then exhale through the straw. And see if you can exaggerate the bottom of that exhalation just a little bit. So you're taking your energy down below the navel, below the bottom of the belly, toward the pelvic floor. And then relax the belly completely when you inhale. Exhale again through the mouth. And see if you can imagine that invisible river flowing all the way out the pelvic floor and into the earth below you. And when you're successful with working this very fundamental aspect of breath, your blood pressure should not be rising. So if you feel if the blood pressure is rising, you have to ask yourself, am I relaxed on the inhalation? Does the inhalation naturally fall into my lower belly? One more time. And then observe in yourself, the more grounded and rooted we become, the more the crown chakra is available to us. So just kind of observe how the shoulders release when we become more grounded, more secure, if you would. And then bring your palms together at the center of your chest. And we're going to just describe the funnel for a moment. So from here, we're going to inhale, raise our arms above our head, open up to that funnel above us, and then pull that energy down around and take it all the way around you and below you. And then from there, grab the energy that's below you in the earth, the part of your chakra system that's in the earth, and draw the energy up as you inhale to the heart. And as you exhale, raise your arms up and come all the way out. And again, inhale, draw the energy up from in the earth. So we're feeding that central channel to the heart, and from the heart up above the crown and out. And last time, inhale, draw the energy from the earth to the heart, and from the heart up, out the crown, and around. Remembering that we have a spiritual body, and that spiritual body comes before the physical body. We are a spiritual being that has a physical body. And with the hands and the heart, just one Om to your own self. In the name of our teachers, in the name of the great mystery and art of yoga, we'll begin this practice. May our practice be fruitful. May we continue to grow in wisdom and understanding. May we be blessed on our journey. Take a deep inhalation. As you exhale, slowly bow your head. Inhale, raise your head up, lower your hands. Good morning. All right, it's time to begin. Because I know a couple of you have a back and shoulder things, we're going to do 2 simple exercises on our backs on the floor, and then we're going to move forward from that. So just move these bolsters out of the way. And I have 2 blocks here also that we're going to use later on today. So just lie down on your back, please. You don't have to see this. You can just listen. Lie down on your backs. Bend your knees. And let's just do a simple knee to chest. Just alternate. Just kind of move your legs a little bit. Just kind of wake them up a little bit. Alternate knee to chest. Yeah, just alternate knee in and out. And then bend both knees and hold on to your knees with your hands. So cup your hand around the bottom of your kneecap and push your knees into your hands a little bit so you feel your arms stretch. So it kind of pulls my arms straight when I push my knees out. That's right. And you can kind of feel how that works in your lower back. And now we're going to alternate as if you were riding a bicycle. So maintaining that little bit of pressure of the knee pushing out, alternate, do one side and then the other, so that you're not synchronized, you're cross-crawling, if you will, alternating, like riding a bicycle, pushing the knee into the hands. And I'm pushing with probably 40% effort. So I'm making a little effort. So I'm stretching my arms and I can feel my psoas working. So I'm giving it a little oomph just to get the belly to wake up. And then pause and lighten it up a little bit. Pause a little bit, don't push so hard. And then rest. Okay, that's just to kind of help warm up your lower back a little bit. And so this time we're going to do one more thing. We're going to hold on to both hands on the left knee. Push the left knee into the hands like you did before, about a 30 to 40% effort. And then take the opposite leg, stretch it toward the ceiling, and then lower it down to the floor. And lift it back up. And lower it down. And lift it back up. And think about that spot below your navel as the anchor point where the energy transitions from above the upper part of the body to the lower part. So pelvis to legs. And then change legs. And push the opposite knee into the hands, give a 30% pressure. Stretch the left leg up toward the ceiling, same thing, inhale, exhale, lower down, and back up, and lower down, and back up, giving that little resistance with the knee to the hands. Now, if your lower back is hurting you, here's the trick. Curl your head and chest towards your knee, keep the knee strong, pushing away, and then lower the leg down, and back up. And down, and back up, and then release and change legs. Last round, holding on to the left knee, pushing it into the hands, right leg up, head up, keep the knee firm in position, lower down, and back up, lower down, and back up. Now my elbows are wide, my shoulders are away from my ears, so I'm just using my belly and a little resistance in the hand. Okay, and then release. Stretch both legs out, stretch your arms overhead. Take a nice full deep inhalation. Again, from the sides of the waist and below, reach into your fingertips. And from the tail, reach down into your heels. So we're working those two triangles, those two funnels throughout the practice. Inhale deeply and exhale, lower your arms, bend your knees, roll to your right side, and come to a sitting position. And let's transition our way up. So we'll transition our way up, sitting on our sits bones in a nice dandasana. Bend your right knee. Reach back behind you with your right arm. Lift your chest. And then sort of capture the knee with your elbow. That's right. And turn your belly and get a little twist. And then pause here and ask yourself, where is my breath? How smooth the breath? How connected can I be to the breath? Is my breath deep and smooth? And then exhale and release. And go to the other side. Turn the belly. Lean back on that back hand, straighten that arm, roll that shoulder back. And then capture, see how you can do. And turn the belly again, nice and easy. No tension in the neck. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation. And then exhale and release. Going back to the first side. And this time we're going to do the open twist. So you're going to bend your right leg, take the left hand back behind you, raise your chest up so inner groins drop down, chest comes up, And you can lift the spine a little bit, twist away from the bent knee and take your elbow or your arm inside the knee, and then pause. Get yourself here, pause, and with your next lift your chest, and then the next exhale, squeeze in with the knee to turn. So when you move your spine in and up and squeeze with the knee, you're giving strength to your back body. You're giving support and strength to the back body. And inhale and exhale, release. And I got to tell you, as a teacher, I hate not being able to see you in every single move, because I know there's so much more I could say if I were watching and not doing. But I need to do so you have someone to follow. So I'm going to bend my left leg now. So this is Manichasana 1. And I press down with my hand to lift my chest and spine. Move the kidneys in and up so you feel the spinal, all the fascia, all the muscles of the spine are being supportive. That's good for your bone density. Raise the arm up, exhale, twist, take the elbow inside the knee, and then pause there. Again, breathe in, deep belly breath, elongate your spine, and then with an exhale, press the knee to the elbow and the elbow to the knee in order to turn your chest, to turn your rib cage and your chest. Any amount is the magic word. So as we listen to our bodies, as we tune into the tissue, we take it to the point of resistance where there's some muscular action without overacting. And then exhale and release. Okay, I'm going to turn this way so I can see you a little bit better. We're going to do one more twist. This time bend your, watch for just a second, bend your right leg, cross it over, lean back so you're not, don't try and get your chest close like the finished pose. We're not going to do the finished pose. Let there be space here. Raise up, use your back hand, roll that shoulder back to strengthen that arm. This arm is going to go across with a straight elbow. Now, my elbow is not outside my knee. My elbow's barely there because I'm leaning so far back, yes? But straighten the arm, lock the elbow against the knee, and then use leverage. Learn how to raise the spine, and then just use a little bit of leverage of pressing the arm to the knee. Why? To engage across the upper back. So you get those muscles between your shoulder blades and start opening those up. All right, let's join me. So everybody, right arm back, right leg crossed over, arm up, elongate the spine, turn the belly any amount, come across to the outside of that knee, wherever you are. Now, raise your breastbone. Think of dropping your inner groin, elongating the central channel, raise the breastbone, that's right, and with an exhale, press lightly just to get the shoulder blade action, just to start turning the upper chest any amount. This is good for your shoulders. And then inhale and exhale and release and stretch out. Pause for a moment, take a breath. Nice big chest, nice breath. Good. And then let's do the other side, and I'm going to turn around so I can see you. It helps me. Bend the left leg, cross over, lean back on the left arm, roll the left shoulder back, lift the chest up. So bring up into the heart, raise up the arm, turn, and take the arm to the outside of the knee. And lock your elbow, raise your chest, and then use a little bit of leverage to turn your shoulders. So that muscular action, so it's not, yoga's not just stretching, it's actually finding that muscular action that integrates the front and back body, the left and the right sides, etc. And then inhale and exhale and release and stretch out. All right, let's see it. Downward facing dog pose. absolutely favorite pose of everyone, right? And while you're getting ready for your down dog, I just want you to know that I've got this nice funnel here, right? I made you a nice triangle of light because this is a season of stillness when we light lots of candles to keep our inner light, reminding us of our inner light. There you go. Spread your fingers. Press your palms down. Let go of any tension in the back of your neck. Let go. Go ahead to your down dog. And just find out where your body's at this morning. So don't think that doing the perfect dog pose is what's required. That's not what's required. What's required is that you use dog pose as a triangle and as a way to find out how to connect the upper body to your lower body. So in your dog pose, experiment a little bit more. Give yourself more movement. You can make a perfect pose and hold it. That's nice. I certainly did a lot of that in the Iyengar trainings, just held poses forever. But what about walking the dog? What about stretching one heel back and down? My only requirement to you is that you don't collapse. So when you reach one heel back and down, don't collapse the arms, don't collapse the spine. Keep your hips lifted high so that you get a nice stretch on the back of the leg down through the calf. So that's what I want to look for, is how we're integrating, not collapsing, but integrating. And then extend through the elbows so you get a little bit more lift through the shoulders. And just walk the dog. And then when you've walked the dog for a while, raise up on the balls of your feet as high as you can and stretch your toes. So the fascia goes all the way to the tips of your toes. And certainly as we get older, as women, as we progress through time, the fascia is going to get stiff in interesting and tricky ways, and we want to keep it opened up. We want to keep it opened up. So lift those hips nice and high, and then pause, come on down and rest in child's pose. Open your knees to soften your belly and bring your head down. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation. All right. And then come to a sitting position. And I'd like to see a show of hands as to how, do you feel comfortable doing a round of sun salutes? Raise your hand or wave at me if you feel comfortable. Okay, good. And if you don't, you can just do a simple little lunge here and there, in and out of dog pose, and just go easy with your body. All right, so let's all stand up and stand to the front of your mat. So sun salute is one of those things that can last a long time. And why is it useful? It's useful because it helps get the fascia of the body unstuck, because it helps improve our circulation, the flow of lymph and circulation. All of those things are necessary. Well, we can talk, I have a course coming up also, Vitality After 50, where I have lots of this information that I want to share. And we could certainly go into more depth with it at another time. But for today, let's just leave it at that. Now lift through the bottom of the belly. So when you exhale through the straw and you feel that contraction at the bottom of your belly, that's the point I want you to focus on. So bring the breath there, and from there raise your breastbone up, palms together. So first round for the physical body. Take a deep inhale, exhale, bow your head. Inhale, raise your arms up. Look up if it's possible for you. Exhale, take the arms out and down. Bend your knees. Drop your head completely with your knees bent. Release your spine. And then hands on your knees, lift your chest up. Do a concave back. So it's the rhythm of folding and extending, and then drop back down, take the right leg back, knee on the floor, lift your chest up. So get a nice lift and stretch on the front of that rear thigh, and then straighten the back leg. Come to plank pose. Drop your knees down, extended child's pose. Inhale, come forward. Lower yourself down to the floor, toes point back. Tail down, shoulders back. Open the chest any amount, look forward. Exhale down, curl toes, downward facing dog pose. Release your neck, any tension in the neck or the belly, let it go. Inhale, exhale, take the opposite leg forward. So my left knee is down and my head and chest is up. And then straighten the back leg. Inhale, exhale, feet side by side. They don't have to be together. Release the crown down. And then slowly roll up. Raise your arms and come to Namaskar. So that's actually technically half a round, because the second half would be with the other leg. So inhale. Exhale, bow your head. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, drop your spine. Inhale, lift your head and chest up. Exhale, take your left leg back, knee on the ground. Raise your chest, look forward and up, nice long lunge. And then straighten the back leg. Come to a plank position, both feet back. Drop your knees, extend back to extended child's pose. And then come forward and lower yourself down onto the floor. Toes point back, tail deep. Roll your shoulders back. And down, curl your toes into downward facing dog pose. Just the weight between the hands, the extension. Raise the hips nice and high. Inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, left leg forward. However you get it there is fine. Rear knee down. Deep lunge, raise the head and chest up. So go at whatever pace works for you. Right? Go whatever pace works for you. And then straighten the back leg. And come forward. Both feet side by side. Bend the knees slowly, roll up. And exhale, and down you come. So there's a couple key pieces to that, which to take care of your spine, bend your knees this first couple rounds. So don't try and be 30 years old again and hinge at your hip like this and think that that's going to be perfect, right? It's better that you bend your knees so that you can actually let your spine drop out of your pelvis, so all these muscles will relax. And then after they're relaxed, then when you lift your head and chest and arch, you're toning those muscles again, waking them up a little bit, helping them to be strong, and then release back down again, and then you can certainly roll back up. But the idea is to have a rhythm for the spine. So you go forward and you come up, and you go forward and you come up. So the rhythm is like priming the pump to move the energy from the top to the bottom. So let's do it one more round, okay? So feet together or apart. You can go hips width apart for stability, that's fine. The key about making yoga a longevity practice is finding out how to position for your anatomy, yes? So spread those toes, Drop your heels down, lift the bottom of the belly, bring the bottom of the belly in, palms together, inhale. Exhale, bow your head, remember your heart. Remember you're priming the pump, inhale, arms up, opening the central channel, inviting breath and spirit into you. Crown down, concave your back, inhale. Exhale, take the right leg back. Knee down, this time press the front foot into the floor, bring your hands to your knees. Lift the bottom of the belly and move your belly back until you feel the stretch in your front of your thigh. So it's real easy to lay the belly forward like we did the first round and just take this long lunge and lay the belly forward. I'm going to say don't do that. Pull back. Lift your pubic bone up so much that you flatten the front of your belly. It puts more weight down into your knee. You're going to get more stretch in your quad, and you're going to go from a fascia extension more to a muscular action, right? So press the shin down into the floor, the back shin, lift the bottom of the belly so you're opening your quad through to your psoas. And in the same way, you're going to really stabilize your lower back and keep it safe. That's important. All right, and then hands down, straighten the back leg. Come to plank position. Firm your thighs, curl your tail in, and take your navel to your spine. So you feel that contraction and holding on the inside. There's no softness. There's a firmness throughout the body. That's how you strengthen yourself and feed the energy in. And then drop your knees. Come back to extended child's pose. Allow the belly to soften, the sides of your ribs to lengthen. Head comes down. Find your breath. Keep that connection. And then inhale, come forward. So you're on your hands and knees now. And just do a little baby push-up. You got to start somewhere. My teacher always said that. I always say that, my inner teacher. Bend your elbows, lay your chest down on the floor. And point your toes back, squeeze your tail. Now take your elbows out and turn your fingers in. And isometrically reach your fingers towards each other. And use that action to pull your shoulders away from your ears so you free your neck. And then slowly curl your chest up. Firm the legs, inner thighs lifting, tailbone pressing down. And feel the action in your spine. There's some contraction there. There's those muscles are being asked to wake up and hold you. This is one of the bone density series poses. Weight bearing for the spine. And then exhale down, curl your toes, and come back to downward facing dog pose. Balance the weight between your feet, balance the weight between your hands. Nice extension, soft belly. And then inhale, however you get there. We're going to take the opposite leg forward. So take right leg forward, left knee down. And again, press the front heel into the floor. Bring your hands up onto your knee. Flatten your clock face in the front. So work that. If you know how to work, it's good to do so. Pull that belly in and then press the rear shin down into the floor as you lift the bottom of the belly. And if you do this well, you'll get some action in your glutes. So if you reach back and you feel those glutes kick in, so you have that muscular action to support the pelvis, then it's a good practice. Because we need to create that stability in the pelvis. Too many women in yoga have lost the stability of their pelvis. That's not good. All right, and then exhale, down you come. Straighten the back leg. Inhale, exhale. Feet side by side. Drop the head and spine down. Bend the knees as much as you need to get the sense that your spine is flowing like a waterfall out of your pelvis and through the crown of your head. And then hands to your knees and curl up. So from the tail, from the crown, like a cat-cow, you're curling up. And then reach back down, release again. And then slowly roll up. All the way up. And hands to Namaskar. That was good. That kind of got the blood flowing a little bit. Would you agree? Give me a thumbs up in the camera so I can see you. Yep, low down for some of you. Excellent. All right, very good. So let's go ahead and I want to take your blocks. Yeah, if you have blocks, that would be great. You can use one or two. I'm going to fold one, put one on the bottom, one on the top. You can also use the seat of a folding chair. So I have a folding chair there. So what the invitation is going to be, I'll demonstrate for you. The invitation is to take the legs wide apart for Prasarita Padottanasana. Lift the bottom of the belly once again and hinge evenly on both sides coming forward. And find a place that you can rest your forehead. And just rest your forehead for a moment. So if you did a good sun salutation practice, and we could have gone longer, but I think that was a good beginning of a practice. And just sort of rest your head so your spine is relaxed and your belly is soft, and just do some deep breathing. So I'm going to just take a peek at you at this position. I would like to see your knees straight as you can make them. And drop your tail toward the floor just a little bit as you straighten your knees. It's kind of like a neutral position, right? It's kind of allowing the river to just kind of flow from your belly to your feet and from your belly to your head, and just letting that flow be there and being grounded. The buzzword these days is down regulating the nervous system, getting the nervous system to relax more. All right. And then slowly lift your head and chest into a concave back. And then bring your hands to your hips and slowly drop your tail and up you come. The way I've studied and the way I've learned, these poses work for this. These poses work for that. Some days I focus more on my bone density. Some days I focus more on my inversions and my heart as an organ. My heart and my thyroid. Sometimes I focus on my bone density, and there are different poses depending on what my target is or what my goal is for that particular practice. So as we're tuning into our bodies and learning about how to track our organ function, there's the organ function and the physical functioning, which is of course fed by the spiritual body. There's no separation. That is, of course, fed by your spiritual body, and sometimes a spiritual awakening is necessary for the body to completely heal. So we're connected on every level. All right, so nice wide stance. Let's go to the sideways poses. It's a journey of investigation. Turn in halfway with your back foot, turn out 90 degrees with your front foot. Lift the bottom of your belly, level your hips. If your right leg is out in front, lift that right hip up. Drop the opposite side down. Tailbone toward the earth, so remember you're exhaling through the straw and connecting to the earth. And then inhale up, arms out to the side. Roll the shoulders back and down. Extend through your elbows, and then lift the knee as you bend it. Lift the front knee as you bend and go in and out once or twice. When you lift that knee up, it should feel the weight shift into your back leg. So you're not going forward into your front leg, you're shifting back into the back leg. There you go, like that. And go in and out a couple times to open up your hips, warm them up, and then go down, down, down. Tuck your right buttock under, tuck that right hip under, turning the knee out, turn the hip under, reach out and take your elbow to your knee, or you can take your hand to the block. Either one, and arm over. Now when you take the arm over, there's more than one way. You can bring the hand to your ear, the elbow to your ear. Stretch the elbow out, feel that extension on your side ribs, and then extend the arm. So you can nourish your shoulders as you're going through the practice, and then inhale and up you come. Okay, and let's turn to center front. And let's turn to the other side. I have a quick question for you. How many of you on this call add a breath practice or a meditation practice in with your yoga practice? Give me a thumbs up or raise your hand or wave or something. Okay, so what happens is, as I get older, my breath practice becomes more important because I don't have the, why does it become more important? Becomes more important because I've done a lot of the other work of life. I've done the family, I've done the marriage, raising children, getting them through school. I've done those things. I've had a business, I ran a business, I've done all those things. And now it's time for the deeper me. And what puts me in touch with my deeper spiritual body and how to complete this life in a graceful way, it's the breath. The breath is the powerhouse. It helps me regulate my blood pressure and my heart rate. It helps me build my serotonin levels in my body. It helps me in so many ways, right? It's really a powerful, powerful tool. And I think it's natural as we go through time that we refine our practices and go deeper. So it's about going deeper in. And so I'm excited some of you are doing some breath practices. I've done a lot of study and work on that this past year. It's one of my passions. So happy to share it with you. Let's do side 2. Legs wide apart, turn in halfway with the back foot, turn out 90 degrees with the front foot, drop your tail, lift the bottom of the belly, and anchor your tail to the earth. Really go all the way down, anchor it to the earth, and then lift from the center of the belly up to the chest, arms out to the side. Inhale, exhale, lift the inner front knee as you bend. And go in and come out. And go in and come out. Listening to your body, feeling your body. Go in and come out. And then see if you're lifting and throwing the weight into that back leg. Extend the back leg, extend the back arm. Go in. Turning the knee out, taking the hip under you, belly flat. Don't let the belly fall out, please. And then inhale, up you come. Oh, sorry, reach out. That's right. And take your hand to the block. And now open your chest. Hand to the other hip to start with. Open the chest. Hand to the ear. Elbow to the ear. Reach out with the elbow as you extend down into the rear heel. And then extend the arm. And then extend the arm. There you go. Curl the tail under you. Curl your tail under, belly back. One more breath. Come on, you can do it. Inhale. And up you come. So let me tell you something. Step your feet together. Let me tell you about Dr. Lauren Fishman's research on bone density. You have to hold that pose for 40 seconds. 40. You were in there about 15. You have to hold it for 40 seconds to have it build bone density. That's the research. So I think the pulsing in and out is good because it gets the hips warmed up and gets everything working together. But then you have to figure out how to hold it and bear weight in the hip joint to make it stronger. Would you like to do, we have time to do that pose once again. How many of you are ready to do that once more? Raise your hand if you want to do it one more time. Okay, all right, so yes, no, maybe. The other pose, okay, so the other pose that you can do is triangle pose, Trikonasana. So we don't have to do it with the bent knee, but let me say this to you. And I'm going to stick my leg out this way toward the camera. If when you go into Trikonasana, you go into Trikonasana losing the grounding of your pelvis and you go in like this, with your butt sticking out like that, that's not helping your bone density. It's going to create tension in your spine, but it's not going to help your bone density. When this front knee bends, the optimal position is for that knee to turn all the way out toward the third toe and this buttocks to come underneath you. So when you go into triangle pose, you actually have weight of your spine on top of your hip. And then it becomes a question of how is your stable is your sacrum, how is your hip joint, how strong is your lower back. A lot of things come into the equation for you to have the experience of being at ease, right? The idea is stiram sukham asanam. How do you find stability and ease in the pose? And sometimes the position of the bones makes a big difference. So let me leave it this way. Let's take the legs apart. If you want to bend the front knee, please do. If you want to go for a triangle pose and straighten the leg, please do. How about that? So turn in halfway with your back foot so that hip turns slightly. And I have to say this, nobody in my class or ever will you hear me say square your hips. You will never, ever, ever, not ever or never hear me say that because it's anatomically unstable and incorrect. Okay, let the thigh turn, let the foot turn, and let the hip turn. And then take the front leg and rotate out. So your hips are at an angle. They're never going to be square. That doesn't help your pelvis at all. So let your hips turn a little bit, tuck your right butt under you, try and make a line from your second toe up through your knee to your hip joint, and then shift the hip a little bit, and you got your block there, put your hand on the block, turn your chest, and now you're in triangle pose. Look down at the floor, don't look up, look at the floor, and see, is your hip under you? Do you have that front hip tucked under you? Do you feel that butt squeezing in? And then don't turn your head, turn your chest, don't turn your head. Now go straight up with your arm. So if you turn your head to look up, go straight up toward the ceiling with your arm. Not back behind you, but your weight is in your hip. Is your weight really in your hip? Ask yourself. All right, that was better. Inhale, up you come. So you managed to stay in that one a lot longer. I didn't actually have the timer running, but I think you did well. All right, let's do this. So here's the arm thing. Here's the arm thing. See my arms? They're straight out to the side. This arm is not back here. That's not triangle pose. The arm is here, pressing forward to open the chest. Okay? That's what straightforward is. All right, let's do the other side. Turn in, turn out. Now line up from the second toe to the knee. Let the hip come forward a little bit. Line up all the way and tuck that hip under you. And then shift, reach out, and take your hand to the block. And then once you're there, look down, turn the knee out. Keep turning the knee out, tucking the shin in, tucking the top thigh in, lift the bottom of the belly so the tailbone comes in. And get the weight right into that hip joint. And then without turning the head, turn the chest open. And then slowly stretch the top arm up toward the ceiling. And see if you can look up and see the top thumb with the corner of your eye. Can you see it with the corner of your eye? Press down into your feet. Lift through the belly, hold it. Work on that position. Weight in the hip joint, weight in the hip joint. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation, tucking that buttocks under any amount, pressing the front heel down and the outside of the back foot. And then inhale, up you come. And turn to center front and bring your feet in. So now we have something else to do, and that is to build stability of the hip joint, because that's a lot of flexibility. And if you're a super flexible person, it's not so good because you need stability. So what I'm going to start sitting at the edge of the chair, and I'm going to hold a block between my knees. And I'm going to lightly squeeze the block between my knees to activate the pubic area and make a lift in the pubic area and sort of tuck my hips under. And then guess what? Come up 6 or 8 inches out of the chair and go back down. Squeeze the block gently, so that's only about a 10% effort, squeezing the block. Squeeze the block, tweeze your sits bones in, lift the skin of your pubic bone. And it's not just the skin. Think of lifting your bladder. Think of lifting your uterus. So kind of come in and scoop. Scoop your organs back towards your spine, and then come to a squat, and then back down. And again, tweeze in, squeeze with the block slightly, come forward, stand, come up, and come back down. Okay, so now let's try it without the chair. So I want to show you the chair in case you needed that chair to do that. So everybody's different. And then the full pose, you put the block between your knees, right at the knee joint. Right at the knee joint. So I'm right here at the knee joint, right? And then bend a little bit. Drop your tail, lift the skin of your pubis, lift the top rim of the pubis. Give a little tweezing in with your sits bones, like you're trying to squeeze them in and activate your glutes. And then start to sit and hold it. And squeeze in a little bit. Find your pelvic floor. Find the tweezing of the side parts of the hip. Tweeze them in. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And up you come. That is a particularly difficult one to talk and do at the same time. And I'm having my arms level out, just to keep my blood pressure even as I'm teaching. You can certainly take your arms all the way up if you'd like, but keep contacting that squeezing in, maintaining. So we have to finish a practice with a counterbalance pose that actually helps you maintain the stability of your pelvis so you don't lose that. As we get older, and I didn't notice it in my 50s, and I didn't notice it in the beginning of my 60s, but when I hit the beginning of my 70s, the research was clear. Fascia loses its strength as we get older, which means that you need more and more opportunity to crimp and tone your fascia if you want to maintain your abilities. abilities to turn on a dime and not fall over, abilities to pick up a grandbaby, move the dehumidifier from the living room to the bedroom. If you want to be able to do those things and not be at risk, you have to build that crimping again in your body. So always when we practice, we want to end with something that's kind of making that strength. Any questions right now? I feel complete about the asana practice. Any questions right now about anything I've said?